Good morning. Welcome to our community meditation. I'm Kelly Capsar, and I'll be your licensed practitioner for the day. So welcome, and welcome to those of you who are joining us online. The next 15 minutes will be a combination of spoken word and silence and beautiful music underneath. And hold just, please. Technical difficulties. Okay. Thanks. Better? Okay. And I'll turn this off, Joe? Yes. Hi there. Welcome again. We love technology, don't we? Especially when it works our way. So let's just take the breath in, all the way in, and all the way out. And notice your breath moving into your lungs, into your belly. Notice your breath moving into your hips and your knees. And noticing your breath moving into your head and your hands and your feet. And taking a breath all the way in and all the way out. And put your attention on the earth right beneath you. And just notice, what does it feel like, the earth right beneath you right now? And letting any other noises simply take you deeper into your breath. And if you notice, the earth has its own rhythm of breath. See if you can allow your breath and the earth's breath to become one and the same. I notice that when I let my breath connect with the breath of the earth, that my breath slows, my nervous system calms. What do you notice? With your next breath, I invite you to drop your awareness and your attention to what the earth right beneath you felt like 10 years ago. And if all you can do is imagine what it might have felt like 10 years ago, that is exactly perfect for this moment. And with your next breath, invite your attention and your awareness to drop in and feel what the earth right beneath you felt like 100 years ago. Is it warmer or cooler? Is it more rocky or less rocky? With your next breath, I invite you to drop your attention and your awareness into what the earth right beneath you felt like 1,000 years ago. You might be noticing that some components feel the same and other components feel really different. I noticed that when I dropped my attention and awareness to 1,000 years ago, my feet started buzzing. What do you notice? With your next breath, I invite you to drop your attention and your awareness to the earth right beneath you, 10,000 years ago. Notice what changes. Notice what remains the same. with your next breath, I invite you to drop your attention and your awareness into the earth at the very beginning of its life. And what do you notice about the earth at that time? With the next breath, I invite you to come up with one word that was present in all of those time frames about the earth beneath you. The word that comes up for me is supportive. And with your next breath, I invite you to return to this moment, noticing the earth beneath you right now. And as you're ready, come back gently, easily, and gracefully to this room and this seat at this time. I hope you enjoyed the trip. I thought it was kind of fun, so hopefully you did as well. And thank you all for joining us. Services will begin in the next 15 minutes, so feel free to get up and get some drinks or whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable and return in 15 minutes for services. Thank you.
Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real with Reverend Laura. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real with Reverend Laura.
This is Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. It is wonderful to see you all here today. It's such a beautiful day out there. Have you guys noticed how bright the sun is since we had that eclipse last week? Oh, it's just really intense, but it's so beautiful out there right now. You may notice that I'm up here by myself. Our beloved music director, Justin, is a little under the weather, so he's recorded the music and sent it to us, so we're going to be hearing him virtually today. So we're excited to have all of that. And I'll let everybody come on in here and have a seat while we're going. I want to say hi to everybody that's joining us online. If you would, turn around and wave to the people in the camera, please. Let them know that we are happy to have them here. And it's a wonderful full audience today. This is great. Thank you all for being here with us. Those of you that have been here for a while know that we are in the process of getting our new building. I'll give you some updates with that in our announcement portion today, so we're excited to go. So we're going to start off with our music. What's the song, Joe? I can't remember. You and Me. So if you would stand, please, and join Justin virtually singing You and Me, and then we'll do our meet and greet afterwards.
One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just want to shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just want to shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life. Break it down. Keep on shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just want to shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is.
your neighbors, folks.
One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one love. One life, one life. Keep on shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just want to shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is.
All right, so we're going to shift our focus a little bit from such raucous music to a little more contemplative time. I've got a practitioner of the day, Kelly Capsar, is up here to give us our affirmation and invocation. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelly.
So, good morning. I'm gonna read the affirmation out loud, and then you guys can say it along with me next time. And I invite you to put it on your phone or on a Post-it note on your mirror and use it and say it regularly through your week, okay? So here we go. The truth of my being remains constant in this ever-changing world. The truth of my being remains constant in this ever-changing world. And so I breathe in, and I breathe out. And I know that that breath is the divine breath in action. That breath is life in action, is love in action, is truth and grace and peace in action. And that breath moves throughout every single living being, from the trees and the plants and the birds and the bugs to the four-leggeds and the two-leggeds and the multi-leggeds, the finned and the furred, and the tiniest little seed to the biggest trees. And that breath is right here, right now, present within each of us, present within me, in each cell, every fiber of my very being. And so I know this is the truth of everyone who hears these words, that breath of life, that breath of love, that breath of grace is truly who and what each and every being is. And this has gone on since the beginning of time and continues to move through the infinite time. And so breathing in, I simply remember that eternal truth of my being, that eternal truth of our being, for each and every one of us, no matter what form we are taking, is part of that breath of life. And so with deepest gratitude for all that is becoming, for all that is unfolding, I simply rest back into that breath, knowing that Divine has us individually and collectively. And I simply breathe that in one more time to anchor it firmly, that knowing firmly in my body, in my being. And I simply let it be, knowing it already is. It always already is. And knowing this truth, I simply let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. It was a beautiful way to center us and get us going for the morning. So this year, our theme has been building a community. As we were in the process of physically building our new center, I felt that building a community would be a great way to look at that. And so each month we've taken a look at a different aspect of what it would mean to build a community. This month we're looking at the eternal nature of life as our theme, this idea of the continuity of the individual soul. As our founder Ernest Holmes wrote in his Declaration of Principles, we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. And so our talks this month have been based around that. My talk title for today is Eternal Life in a Changing World. So we exist in this eternal nature, and we exist in this physical plane right here that is constantly changing, constantly evolving, and constantly becoming more and more. And this begins to create a paradox for us. We're constantly evolving, and yet our soul is unchanging. Our soul is constantly in this state of reaction to the things that are happening around us, but the very nature of who we are stays pure and true to itself. And so this begins to create this paradox within us where we have to deal with this human plane of existence that we're in. We are this eternal soul having this physical experience in this world that we inhabit right now. And that can create a lot of problems for us in our lives, and a lot of paradox is involved in that. I believe that we all came here, our souls decided to inhabit the body that it's inhabiting right now for a particular purpose. Now, that purpose could be the learning some kind of a life lesson. That purpose could be working through some kind of a challenge in our lives. But all of that together is for the evolution of our soul, for us to constantly develop. As our founder Ernest Holmes said, we are on an ever upward spiral of evolution. So we are constantly, our souls are constantly evolving and changing as they are experiencing different things in this world. And so one of the books that I've been reading this month is a classic from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. And in this book, he's talking about how all the different ways that we can stay in this present moment and yet experience this eternality that is going on around us. And so he says that we have two types of purposes in our lives. We have an outer purpose and we have an inner purpose. Our outer purpose is very much goal-driven. It's achievements. It's moving from one thing to another in our lives. Remember last week I was talking about time and how time can be on a stream that's horizontal that goes from point A to point C or to point Z or to point whichever one on the end of it. But it's moving along this horizontal thing. This is what we think of when we think of time. So we have certain achievements that we are wanting to reach as we move through our lives. We start off one of the first achievements we want to get to, one of the first goals, is to learn to walk. And then right after that, we learn to talk, and then very soon we learn to be potty trained, and then we get to kindergarten, and we move on in our lives, and our lives just keep moving along this horizontal track of time, accomplishing one goal after another. But remember, last week when I was talking, that the true point of time is not from point A to point Z, but it's that particular moment right now, where we stand on that razor's edge of a particular moment, that is really the only thing that exists, because everything else is either past or future. Right now, we are on a vertical track. We are absolutely centered on that. I love that phrase, the razor's edge, where you think about a razor, how thick it is, and if we're standing on that particular line, how thin that is, how perfectly centered in the present moment that would be. And so Eckhart Tolle says that we have the second purpose, which is our inner purpose. And our inner purpose is happening right now. And our inner purpose is not about going from point A to point Z, but our inner purpose is going deeper. It's going deeper within ourselves. And so if we're on this vertical line, then there's only one way to go, up here or down, up or down here, but we can go deeper into ourselves, becoming more of who we are, more of our true essence, more of our purpose. So we have outer purpose, goals, achievements, things that we do in our physical human being plane of existence. It's all about the future. When we're working on those achievements, it's not about right now. It's about what I'm going to do in the future, how it's going to be in the future, keeping us out of that present moment. But our inner purpose is all about doing what we're doing right here, right now, feeling the full experience of it in this very present moment. And that's what keeps us centered and grounded. The master teacher Jesus said that when we are in our inner purpose, then we are truly aligned. But when we're in our outer purpose, we have gained the world but lost our soul, is how he puts it. We've gained the world. In other words, we're experiencing everything that's going on out here in this outer world, but we've lost that essential part of who we are. Because our focus is not on who we are. It's on what we're going to become. It's always future-oriented. And then we have all of those things that have happened in the past that are dictating what we want to do in the future. And so we spend all of our time outside of that present moment, where we're not experiencing the fullness of everything that's available to us right here and right now. The way to check in to see if you're in the present moment is to check your emotions. I love the book Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown, where she talks about, I think it's 86 different emotions, where she describes them, where you can really get into that, what it means to be in each emotion that you're feeling. So when we are feeling things like anger, or resentment, or guilt, or judgment, we can be very sure that we are not in the present moment. We are reacting to something that's happened in the past, or we're expecting something that's going to happen in the future. But we are not staying in the present moment. Our emotions in the present moment are peace, balance, joy, harmony. We are experiencing what's here because right here, right now in this present moment, all your needs are met. Every single thing that we need right here and right now to be is absolutely perfectly present for us. And your mind could keep going and saying, well, wait a minute, I need to do such and such, or I need this much money, or I need to find a help for something. But all of that is taking us into the future. It's not keeping us in the present moment. When we are in the present moment, the eternal life can be going on all around us, but we are centered and grounded and fully aware of everything that's available to us right here and right now. And so checking in with our emotions is a powerful way to tell whether we're working outside of our true nature or whether we are actually aligned or not. Just beginning to look at what's going on inside of me right now. There are lots of ways that I've done this in the past that help me, but one of the quickest ways is asking myself, what do I know right now? What truth do I know right now? especially when I'm caught up in the spin cycle of whatever's going on around me in the world. If I can get myself to realize that I'm caught in that and take myself back to center and say, what do I know right now? Well, right now, I've got everything I need. Right now, I can take in a full breath. Right now, everything is peaceful in my life. I can quickly step out of that. Yeah, I'm sure you've all experienced that, where it's just automatically your mind just goes off into another direction, either worrying about what's going to happen or worrying about what has already, or being angry with what has already happened. So, staying present in the moment, check your emotions. And then look at what's happening around you. Look at where you may be out of alignment. And one of the best spiritual practices I've found to help myself realize that I'm out of alignment is to check on my level of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of those, it's one of those practices that I think could never be used enough. I think that there is always room for forgiveness in our world. And oftentimes people will say, well, I've already done all my forgiveness work. I don't need to do any more. And then you can hear it in their voice that, yes, obviously you do need to do a little bit more, but or I'll say, I don't need to forgive myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong. But inside of me is this feeling like, oh my God, what have I done, So I check in on that. It's like, if I'm blaming anybody, if I'm feeling any kind of resentment, if I've got any kind of anger going on, if I am feeling any self-pity, I have forgiveness work to do. I have forgiveness work to do right there. Anytime we do any of those emotions. Now here's the other one. If I am feeling shame for anything, then I know at that moment I need to forgive myself. So forgiving others is actually a lot easier than it ever is to forgive ourselves. Forgiving ourselves is one of the hardest things we can really begin to do because we have internalized so many of those emotions around whatever that situation was. And it's layer upon layer upon layer. We talk about in our movement often talk about peeling the onion away. You peel off one layer and you've got another layer below it. And you've got to peel off that layer till you finally get to the core of what that is. And oftentimes for ourselves, the core of what we're feeling is shame around something we think we should have done, something we didn't do right, something, somewhere we think we've been inadequate, or we could have done more, or whatever. We are so hard on ourselves. One of my favorite songs, Michael Gott, and I know I say this a lot, but Michael Gott has a line in one of his songs that goes, I'd never say to anyone the things I say in my own mind. I would never be as hard on anybody else as I am on myself. And again, it's layer upon layer upon layer, and we just begin to peel it away. And there are so many forgiveness techniques out there that we can use. My statement for you is to just find the one that works for you best. I happen to love the Buddhist loving kindness meditation. That one really works for me. It takes me out of my spin cycle of all the things that I'm feeling at the moment and gets me to that place where I'm fully present in that moment. If you're not familiar with it, it's very simple. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease, and may I be happy. And when I'm saying that to myself, I am in the present moment feeling absolutely those emotions of peace and harmony and balance and so forth that are available when I'm in the present moment. And as I'm doing that, there are times when my mind will go off. Oh, but wait a minute, they did this, or I wish I would have said that, and then I realize, okay, bring myself back to center, say it again, bring myself back, and it's constantly this redirecting. I think I said this last week, it's what I do with my puppy all the time. Redirect, redirect, redirect. I was sitting with my puppy this morning as I was getting ready, and I realized this is a creature that knows how to stay in the present moment. Now, it could have something to do with she sleeps about 20 hours a day, so when she is present, she's fully engaged in it. But I'm watching her play, and I'm like, every single ounce of her being is fully in that moment as she's shaking the daylights out of that toy. She is fully present. As she is chewing her bone, she is fully present, enjoying everything that's available to us. Can you imagine if we could get ourselves to that place in our own lives where we absolutely experience the fullness and the richness and the joy that is available to us every single moment, even in this chaotic world that we're living in, even in the midst of all the troubles that we experience. You know, the spiritual teachers say that our world work is to be in the world, but not of the world. To be fully present with what's going on in the world, but not let ourselves get consumed by it. Because the world is constantly changing around us. It is constantly evolving. There are problems in different areas of the world based on different things that are going on. You know, we have the conflict right now in the Middle East that is so present with us and so worrisome to us. But if we can stay in that present moment with what is and bring that place of peace into our consciousness, then we are actually working to contribute to the resolution in the Middle East right now. Every time that thought of what's going on there comes into our consciousness, if we actually centered ourselves in the present moment, then we create a space for God to show up. We create a space where it's possible to heal the world. But if we're caught up in the effect of it, then we're just contributing to the chaos. So constantly bringing ourselves back to center. It feels sometimes, until you've actually experienced the power of it, it can feel like, well, this is just a platitude. I'm not doing anything good here. How could me sitting here being peaceful affect what's happening in the Middle East? Science has proven it does. It is the power of our prayer work. We know that we do not have to be in the same location as the people that we are praying for the healing to happen in their experience. Science has proven it. Through the quantum physics that experiments that have been going on, they have proven that we can affect things in another part of the world. They have proven that I can sit in a room here in Las Vegas and a plant in London, England can be changed. They put monitors on the things and watch what happens as my focus on this plant sitting in London, England happens, then something happens to the plant, that it changes. And so, as I talked about last week, with the intention experiment from Lynn McTaggart that has done so much wonderful world work as far as ending conflict, when we put our attention on being in the present moment, being a place of peace, being a place where Spirit can move through us and operate itself into the world, because it's the only way it comes through is through each one of us individually, then I become an opening for miracles to happen. I become an opening for a healing to take place. And it's just always a matter of bringing ourselves back to the present moment, not being wrapped up in what's happening in the effects of the world, and seeing if we can get ourselves back to that place of peace all the time. Now, usually I like to give you a spiritual practice to do this, but there are so many practices out there today. I thought I would just talk a little bit about them. And so, of course, the first thing that I love is meditation. You know, sitting there in meditation, finding those times in a meditation where I can be fully present. Now, remember, our minds are made to go wandering off. So when you're sitting in meditation and your mind starts to drift off and off, that's absolutely natural. It's absolutely what our minds are made to do. Our task in each time is to recognize that my mind has wandered and bring me back to the present moment. Always back to that present razor's edge of this now moment. And so as we sit in meditation, whatever kind of meditation you want to do, walking meditation, all kinds of movement meditations, Tai Chi, yoga, lots of different ways that we can actually physically move our bodies and yet still be in meditation. Great. Silent meditation, chanting. I was just speaking on for last Wednesday night about a meditation called Passages Meditation, where you recite passages from sacred text, whichever one appeals to you, and you recite that over and over again. and in a repetition that allows your conscious mind to be engaged and allow that space for those present moments to be felt, for that now moment to be felt really tangibly. So whatever kind of meditation you want to do, it's perfect. Along with meditation is mindfulness. Mindfulness, remember, is about being fully present and aware of what's happening without reacting to it. When we react to it, we're back into our emotions. And so mindfulness is all about staying fully aware in the present moment. There's all kinds of spiritual practices that we can do. Forgiveness, gratitude. Those are wonderful practices that we can do instantly. We can do them many times throughout the day. It doesn't take any special tools or anything like that. Just, I'm walking around. What are 3 things I'm grateful for? What are 3 things I want to forgive right now? Just very simple, easy practice. Use little cues around your house to remind you to be grateful. You walk out the door. What am I grateful for as I'm leaving my home? What am I grateful for when I come into my home? What am I grateful for at my job? What am I grateful for in my car? Lots of ways to keep us spiritually motivated. There are things that we can do like having compassion and empathy for others. When we did the blessing ceremony on October 8th, that was about developing that compassion and empathy, about being a place where I can look at whatever's going on and find something good in it and bless it, and bless the people that are involved in it, and allow that blessing to continue forth from me. And so having that. Self-reflection, self-inquiry, always checking in. Check in with my emotions. What am I feeling here? Well, why am I feeling that? Ask ourselves those probing questions. You know, remember, it is the quality of the questions that we ask that determine the quality of our lives. And so if we're asking questions like, what is here for me to know in this situation? Then we can get an answer. If I ask a question like, why is this being done to me? I get a whole different response altogether. That keeps me stuck in the situation. But asking, what's here for me to know? How can I grow from this situation? What is available to me through this encounter that I don't really like? You know, asking those kind of questions will give us insight into ourselves and the way our minds work, the way we're reacting to things, the way the emotions are happening in our lives. So being reflective, asking ourselves questions. Surrender, let go. Anybody have trouble surrendering things? I think it's one of the hardest spiritual practices to actually let go of something, because we are so attached to things. We're so attached to the outcome of things. We're so attached to the way things should be. We're so attached to them. If we begin to let that go and just say, okay, we have a different experience in the situation when we can get away from that sense of attachment. The Buddhists say that all suffering comes from a sense of attachment to something. We can let that go. We can alleviate a lot of the suffering in our lives. And one of the last ones that I found to be very helpful in my life is to be of service to someone else. If I am stuck in a problem, in a situation in my life, if I find a way that I can help somebody, even if it's just opening up the door as I walk into a store for the person behind me, I feel better about myself. For that brief moment, I am fully present, and I am fully conscious of what's going on, and I have done something good for someone else, and that has made me feel better altogether. So find a way to be of service. Find a way to give back. You know, if you're looking for service opportunities and you're not sure where to look, I've got a lot of them for you. Because we're opening up a new building next month. So if you're looking for some place to be of service, please let me know. I will be asking people. So you can expect that coming from me in the next couple of weeks. If you see me coming and you really don't want to do anything, then I really suggest you run the other way. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. And, you know, that's honestly, I don't know if too many of you know my story or not, but I started at our center in 2005 by volunteering to put together the database for our new bookstore. I was a computer specialist. My friend was managing the bookstore. She asked for somebody to come and help her, and I did. And now, you won't necessarily become a minister, but you never know where it'll take you. But volunteering. I used to call the bookstore my sanctuary because it was my place where I went and felt really good about myself, really good about anything. If I was in any kind of a funky mood, I would go into the bookstore and just do some work. And so finding those places, I know we have several people here that volunteer at food banks and animal rescue places and different organizations around the community. And I know that you get a great deal of reward out of volunteering for the things that you do. So find a place to volunteer. It will keep you in the present moment because what you're doing is right there, active, with the people around you. It gives you a sense of fulfillment. It gives you a place to not be at the effect of our ever-changing world, but to be at the center of a solution for a lot of the world's problems. And so it's always our opportunity to find a place to be of service and to engage in these other spiritual practices in a way that will keep you in the present moment and uplift your life in ways that we can't even imagine right now. It's always our opportunity, and it really is a blessing when we surrender to that experience and allow it to be part of our lives. So let's take this into prayer now. Prayer is one of our most powerful spiritual practices. It is a way that we affirm the truth of what is. So if you're not familiar with our prayer, it's called affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. It has 5 stages. The first stage, I recognize the presence of the divine in whatever name you want to call it. In the second stage, I align myself and all of us with it. In the third stage, I speak words of truth. It's affirmations of truth that pertain to whatever it is we're praying for. The fourth stage is gratitude, which is always a powerful practice. And in the last stage, that's that surrender. We just let it go. We know it is done, and we let it go. So if you would, turn within. I close my eyes when I pray. You're welcome to do so. Just take in a nice breath. Just allowing ourselves to become fully present in this moment. Knowing that right here, right now, there is nothing but the action and the activity of the divine. It is moving through each one of us. It is showing up as us. And it shows up as love and peace and harmony and balance. It is that creative intelligence that has brought forth everything into existence. For in the beginning was nothing but this one. And so it had nothing to create from but itself. And it brought forth everything into existence. Every star in the sky, every grain of sand on the beach, every leaf in the trees, and every being that has ever breathed is all an emanation of that one, created perfectly, beautifully, through that power of unconditional love. Because I know there is only one, I know that I am one with it. I know that the power and the presence of the divine fully manifests itself as me right here and right now. And as I know this is true for me, I know this is true for each one of us. That we are all that unique and perfect representation of spirit right here, right now. And so knowing this truth, I speak my word. I know that we all exist in an eternal now, ever present, ever active, fully expressing itself as each one of us. I know that when we are in that present moment, then everything is possible. All solutions exist in the now moment. And I know that our task is to constantly bring ourselves back to center, back to that present moment, back in alignment with the truth of our being. because that truth is one of peace and harmony and joy. And I know that this is not only true for each one of us present in this room today and joining us online for this experience. I know this is true for the entire world. I feel a blanket of it covering the Middle East. I see it moving through the Ukraine and all places in the world where there is any conflict or turmoil or hardship. I know that the presence of the divine is fully active in that situation, and it is manifesting itself as peace and harmony and joy. That the abundance of Spirit is flowing through all life and showing up in the perfect way that is needed in every single situation. And how good it is to know this, how good it is to feel it, and how good it is to see it happening right here and right now. And so I just release this word into the law, into that creative mind that always says yes, that has absolutely no limitations and is always fulfilling itself for the unfoldment of the individual soul. I let it go and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. All right, sometimes I get a little... Okay, so now is that time that we go into the sharing of our tithes and offerings. This is another one of our spiritual practices where we give from that space of plenty. It's allowing ourselves to be of service in a different way. And so we have lots of ways that you can give. We have online giving, we have text to give, we have Zelle, and of course we gratefully accept your cash and check donations. And so if you would, hold your donation over your heart. If you are giving electronically, just put your hands over your heart. And repeat after me. This gift I give goes forth from me. Does amazing and miraculous things. And returns to me in kind. Pressed down and overflowing. Thank you. Joe's got some music for us. If you want to sing along, you're welcome to.
What do I want and what do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity,
Prosperity,
I claim it.
I claim it.
Abundance,
Abundance
is mine.
is mine.
Love,
Love
flows through me.
flows through me.
I feel joy,
I feel joy
all the time.
all the time.
I can have it,
I can have it.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
I claim it,
I claim
it
it.
is mine.
It is mine.
I can have it,
I can have it.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
I am it,
I am it.
it is mine.
It is mine.
Peace
Peace
fills my heart.
fills my heart.
I surrender
I surrender
everything.
everything.
Health
Health
is my birthright.
is my birthright.
And passion
Passion
helps me sing. I can have it,
I can have it.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
I claim it,
I claim
it
it.
is mine.
It is mine.
I can have it,
I can have it.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
I am it,
I am it.
it's my time.
It's my
Break it
time.
down.
Wonderful. Thank you. Just a couple of announcements. Like I said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the building. So I got a call on Friday from our contractor. They're scheduling the final inspections. So hopefully we'll have those soon. We did have to make a call on having our Interfaith Forum there on November 12th, and Interfaith Council decided that it was best to reschedule it to a different location. So instead of hosting it this year, we will host it again next year. So it was cutting it really close between getting the building finished and having an event there on November 12th. So I kind of feel relieved about it. Not that I wasn't looking forward to having it there, I really was. So the November 12th, it'll be at the Church of Scientology on Emerson Avenue, so that's posted there. This first Interfaith Forum is tonight. Those of you that aren't familiar with it, the Interfaith Forum is sponsored by the Interfaith Council of Southern Nevada, and it is a panel discussion around a specific topic. Tonight's topic is spiritual, not religious. And so they're going to be, I think it was Judaism, Catholic, Baha'i. Do you have all of them, Katie? Katie's our liaison. Who else is speaking?
Islam, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Sikh,
The Sikh, okay. And Baha'i, okay. So it'll be an interesting one. Pardon me? Yes, they're all youth this time, so it's wonderful. Youth are speaking this time. It's at the congregation near Tamid, which is a Jewish temple on Horizon Ridge. Valley Verde, near the 215. So they wanted everyone to know that because of the conflict that's happening in the Middle East right now, they have heightened their security at the Jewish temple. So make sure you get there early so that you can get through the security for it. Searching the cars, is that what you said? You're not real sure, yeah.
you know, they're going to stop the cars. I don't know if they're going to have you get out,
Okay.
go through your car and kind of
Just a precaution because of the turmoil.
shining a flashlight to see if
Okay.
you have something suspicious.
So it starts at 7 o'clock. Just give yourself a little extra time than what you would normally do. I know they'll probably have water and refreshments and stuff like that there, so if you get there early, always do. At the synagogue, yes. So, yes, they're good about their food. I know I've been to a couple of meetings there, and it's like, oh, yeah, let's go there for lunch. So anyway, please consider joining us tonight for the youth of Southern Nevada, speaking about spiritual but not religious from different faith traditions. So there are 4 nights of the Interfaith Forum, 2 in October, 2 in November. I'll be speaking at the last one. On November 12th. So it's an exciting thing to do, and it really is quite refreshing to see how similar our views are. When we think there's so much difference between them, and then to hear people speak about it, it's like, well, that's not so different from me after all. Really is makes our world a little more cohesive. So join us for that. If you'd like to sponsor flowers, we don't have flowers today, but if you'd like to sponsor flowers, it's on our website. Especially if you'd like to sponsor flowers for the new building. So in November, December, check and see if you have any events coming up that you would like to honor with a recognition at our services. And you get to keep the flowers afterwards, and they last for about 2 weeks. So it's a beautiful thing. So we have some coffee and such back there. So let's just stand and do our benediction and sing our closing song, Use Me. If you want to, join hands. If you don't, that's okay too. I understand that. And if you would, just repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in my heart.
Life is in all that I do.
Life is in all that I do.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
I share it.
And I'm becoming more of it.
And I'm becoming more of it.
Each and every day.
Each and every day.
Thank you, life.
Thank you.
Sing Use Me, folks.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand you, and hear all about as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me